Well, happy MARCHintosh everyone, and this time I'm going to take a look at a computer with classic mode installed in it for variety's sake. You see, this computer right here is the Mid-2004 eMac. It was first released in April 13th, 2004 and discontinued in May 3rd, 2005. Yeah, it was on the market for that long because it's an educational computer. And the eMac was originally supposed to be sold only through educational channels similar to the Macintosh G4 all-in-one. But, due to demand, it was soon brought over to the consumer market. This was the last Macintosh computer ever made to have the good old CRT. And that's why it's notable for its inclusion in Macintosh history. The eMac was basically the iMac G3 2.0, or the iMac G4 if it had a CRT instead of an LCD panel. Yeah, this is the iMac G4. So yeah, the reason why it has CRT instead of an LCD screen is because CRTs are much cheaper than LCD screens. Keep in mind, this is the early 2000s and LCD screens were still really expensive, so it made sense to have a CRT screen for an educational-only computer. But as time went on, LCD screens became cheaper and cheaper. And by 2006, there wasn't really that much need for it anymore. So it got replaced with the education-exclusive Intel iMac. And this computer also has quite the story. You see, I got this computer when I got snowed out due to a blizzard. But no plans were going to stop me from getting it. You see, I got my brave dad to drive out in a blizzard to get this computer and the PowerBook 540C while snowed in. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, my dad can be awesome. So yeah, that's basically the story behind this computer. It survived a blizzard. And now it's here in the Museum of Apple Computers. So yeah, specs wise, this computer came with the same amount of RAM as standard as the Mac G4. It came with 256 megabytes of RAM as standard, although it could be upgraded to 2 gigabytes of RAM just like the Mac G4, and has 32 megabytes of VRAM. And depending on the model, you could either have like 40 or 80 gigabytes of storage. So yeah, this, I believe, is the lower end model with the 40 gigabyte hard drive, although some can be optioned with a 20 gigabyte, if I remember correctly. So yeah, the eMac has its place in Mac history. And the best part is that because it's a CRT, it has a really good refresh rate. It also has some really cool features. But anyways, let's take a look at the ports. Here we go. This is the DVD drive itself, and yep, as you can see, it is a mid-2004 model. Yeah, it's the only model that has the 1.25 gigahertz PowerPC G4 processor, and you got your array of ports right here. Get this out of the way. You got audio in and out for headphones and microphones, 3 USB 2.0 ports, 2 FireWire ports. Yeah, you got ports for modem and Ethernet, and interestingly enough, you also got a display port. Yeah, it's not likely you ever see these on all-in-ones, but I guess it is there just in case you wanted to hook up your Mac to a projector. If you wanted to do a slideshow, because it is a school computer. It's meant for schools, and on the back here you got your fan. Yeah, it's got some vents there. But I don't think it has a fan though, it's pretty much passive cooling. And yeah, just like any Mac of the era, it has FireWire ports. And back then, FireWire was like the Thunderbolt of its day. But anyways, let's demonstrate some classic Mac OS programs since it's MARCHintosh. Here we go. It's time for a demonstration of the eMac itself. Just gotta give it a few seconds to warm up. Yeah, and I don't have to warm up the CRT as it's already plugged in. I've been doing some testing and installing classic mode on it, so yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I'm gonna reach over there and turn on the computer itself. Yeah, and zoom in. There we go. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, it's running Mac OS 10, but I'm going to be using the classic environment. And for those of you who don't know, the classic environment is a thing in Mac OS that allows you to run classic Mac OS applications. And the reason why it exists is because several people still had a stockpile of Mac OS programs, and classic Mac OS was still being used even after Mac OS 9 was discontinued. So, classic mode was kind of a way to bring about backwards compatibility in the Mac environments, although after Tiger was pretty much dropped with Leopard. I don't know why they dropped it. Probably because a lot of people had programs for Mac OS 10 by then. So yeah. In order to activate classic mode, first you have to go up to classic. And if you want to start classic when you log in, you can click that. So yeah, classic is starting. And yeah, I have some classic Mac OS games. For some reason, I couldn't get SimIsle to run on the eMac. I don't know why, but I had difficulties trying to get SimIsle to run on there. So yeah, if you want to log in to the classic environments, all you have to do is restart. Yeah. it doesn't log into macOS Classic, it just logs into it just starts up the Classic environment when you do restart the machine. So it's really cool they give you the option to do that. Yeah, and Classic is starting upon startup. So that's how you basically get macOS Classic to start up, or Classic mode to start up when you log in. Oh, and here's the keyboard that I've got. Here's the keyboard that I got set up with it. Yeah, this is the Apple keyboard and mouse. And this is the kind of keyboard and mouse that would have come with the computer when it was shipped. Look at this. I want you to watch this. See, look. That's the disk drive, and it's located right in the middle there. It is so cute. So yeah, I'm going to test out SimTower. Okay, here we go. Yeah. There's a sequel called uTower, and the Mac version of uTower is actually better than the PC version. Okay, so get the disk inside the computer. And there we go. Look at that. It's hilarious, man. I always like when Apple has little things like that, because it adds charm to the computer itself. There we go. The SimTower disk is in there. So if you want to run your classic macOS applications, now you can. Yeah, there's no reason why you would ever want to run 10.5.8 unless you want to watch YouTube. Okay, so get SimTower to run. And yeah, we'll switch to 256 color mode. Yeah, this game actually works. Yeah, what is it with the SimIsle game not working and this game actually works? Okay, so we'll do new tower. And we'll build a floor. It's been a while since I played this game. Okay. Let's see. First floor is only for lobby. I don't really remember how this game works. Okay. The lobby. Okay, let's build the lobby. There we go. Okay. Now I remember. It's actually quite easy to do once you figure it out. Here we go. Build there. Okay. Yeah, there's a sequel to this game. Like I said, there's a sequel to this game called uTower, which, oddly enough, the Mac version is better than the PC version. Okay, build something there. And we do need an elevator. There we go, all the elevator could be adjusted. Yeah, so you can do a lot of things in this game. Yeah, it's like if SimCity was a tower game. I have a copy of SimCity, but it's the PC version, it's not the Mac version. And I have to look around to getting a Macintosh Quadra 630 PC compatible or Power Macintosh 6100 PC compatible. Yeah, no, DOS compatible, but it's what a lot of people call it. Yeah, so that's the gist of the game. It's easy to understand, and the concept is simple. Okay, so gotta build restaurants, build a cafe there, but we do need more stuff like offices and apartments. Okay, so it'd be hilarious if I built a condo near the offices. Oh man. Yeah, it's basically how classic mode works. I was able to get SimTower to run on there, but you might be wondering, what about another famous macOS game that a lot of people play? And it's really popular. It's one of the most popular strategy games to ever exist. Well, you're gonna see in a bit. Yeah, like, this is not a game where the objective is to win. It's basically a software toy. But anyways, let's get out the game in question. Here's the game I'm talking about. StarCraft. And installing it is a pain on macOS 10 because, well, even for classic mode you can't seem to install it, and you have to download the macOS 10 installer for StarCraft, which kind of sucks, but oh well. There's not much you would do about it. So yeah, here's the StarCraft folder. Oh, let's give it a whirl. Yeah, we're gonna use general. Ooh, look at there. Blizzard. Yeah. StarCraft. Yeah, it's one of the most influential strategy games of all time. Okay. There we go. Now we're going to do the Terran campaign.
Welcome to Marsar, Magistrate. The equipment demonstration requested is prepared and may be initiated at your convenience. Simply select Start to begin the demonstration. You may...
Yeah. Okay, so...
T280 SCV is the cornerstone of our hostile environment construction.
Yeah, it's basically the peon for Warcraft.
In order to build a thriving colony, numerous SCVs are necessary. You can build additional SCVs at a command center.
Alright, harvest the crystals. And if you want to build more SCVs, you just click on the headquarters and there you go. It's pretty much similar to how you build stuff in Warcraft. Yeah, like training units and building buildings.
In order to equip additional personnel, you must have enough supply depots to support them.
Yeah, supply depots.
You use SCVs to build additional supply depots.
Stop. Need to build another supply depot. Yeah, the supply depots are basically the StarCraft equivalent of farms. There we go, we're going to build a supply depot. Then we're going to harvest more crystals. Yeah, you get the idea. It's a great game though. And yeah, StarCraft is known to be really taxing, even on late 90s computers. Yeah, some computers like the iMac G4 won't run it pretty well. So yeah, StarCraft is a pretty taxing game, and the can you run StarCraft test is pretty much similar to the can you run Doom test. Yeah, you want to see if your late 90s rig can run StarCraft. Okay, build more SCVs. Not enough minerals. Let's gather more resources. Here we go.
SCV good to go, sir. Give me something to shoot. Outstanding. Permission to speak freely, sir. I'm not sure you know what you're doing. If you're going to send us into hostile territory and you want us to defend ourselves, then use the attack command. But if you want us to ignore enemy fire, including
Yeah, it's basically similar to Warcraft.
use the move command. Now, which will it be?
Yeah, it's Marines. Yeah, Games Workshop didn't sue Blizzard over the usage of the Space Marines, although they're very different from the Space Marines in Warhammer. Yeah, different enough to be distinguished. The Space Marines in StarCraft have helmets that are more akin to being Buzz Lightyear-like or astronaut-like. Whereas the Space Marines have, well, helmets that can be described as stormtroopers on steroids. I mean, the Space Marines from Warhammer are pretty much stormtroopers on steroids. And stormtroopers that can actually shoot. Yeah, stormtroopers. Yeah, they don't have good aim. Pretty much everyone knows that the stormtroopers have terrible aim.
Report for duty.
Okay, let's...
Your forces are under attack.
Jacked up and good to go. Outstanding. Yes, sir.
Your forces are under attack.
Job finished. Orders, Captain?
Not enough minerals.
SCV good to go, sir.
Mission objectives. Build a refinery. We have to build at least 3 supply depots, so we have to build 1 more of them. Okay, build a supply depot.
Not enough minerals. The refinery processes raw Vespine gas, converting it into a form
Yeah,
which
I already built the
SCVs can
refinery. We have to gather at least 100 Vespine gas. Yeah, Vespine I'm guessing is more potent than petroleum. I'll have to brush up on my StarCraft lore.
Orders, Captain? I read you.
Alright, let's gather the Vespine. Make it quicker.
This concludes the equipment demonstration. There will now
There you
be
have it.
facilitated reception at Marsara Base.
That's StarCraft. Yep, the eMac can run StarCraft. Anyways, let's demonstrate a program that you would actually want to use in a classroom setting. Here's the classic environment being demonstrated again, and what's also cool about this is that you can even show the startup window. Yeah, you can choose to show the startup window, and yeah, it's one of the fastest startups of Mac OS 9. That's why I installed the classic environment on the eMac, because it's MARCHintosh. And it's also why I had a huge focus towards classic Mac OS programs. Yeah, where's Oregon Trail? Oh, there it is. It's in documents for some reason. Okay, let's place Oregon Trail. Yes. Yeah, this is the kind of game that you would actually play in classrooms, and it makes sense to test it on the eMac. Okay, let's do beginner. Okay. Form a wagon party. Accept. Just gonna go to the store and buy some stuff. Click on the shopkeeper.
Welcome to Independent. Timothy Saunders, but just call me Tim. You got that look in your eye, heading west, ain't you? Well, what can I do you for?
I doubt that's an actual Westerner. It's just some guy attempting a Western accent. Okay. We only have $650 with us right now. So you have to add in the number of barrels. Man. It's $393.89. That is freaking expensive. Banjos. Okay, so two decks of playing cards. Just in case if we play euchre. Jeez. Okay. Let's see. Axis are $1.18. Let's buy a Dutch oven. Fishing nets. I think we got all our stuff gathered. Guidebook. Okay. Whoops. Didn't mean to exit out. Store by Axis. This is my first time, by the way. Butcher knives. Buy the whole lot. Kettles. Hunting knives. Holy crap. Okay, let's head on over to the Oregon Trail. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the office.
Good afternoon. My name is Patrick Matson. I'm a journalist, and I write for the local paper. You may have seen me around town talking with some of the pioneers preparing for their journey out west. Use a reputable guidebook and stick to the established trails.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that Lanford W. Hastings should be thrown in jail for advocating that shortcut to California in his guidebook. A shortcut that he himself had never explored. The Donner Party tried Hastings' shortcut, and less than half of them survived. By the time the rest were recovered by search parties, many of them had gone mad.
It took me a bit of time to figure out everything this game had to offer. But I finally got it figured out. Except, let's go to the trail. Ready to go. Please insert CD2. Good lord. It's giving me Final Fantasy VII vibes. Yeah, you have to switch discs in order to play the game. Remember that? Yeah, because the amount of storage on a CD isn't enough to contain the game and some full motion video clips. So yeah, this is a demonstration of the Oregon Trail. Let's go to the Kansas River. Check supplies. Yeah. Pace. Steady. Yeah. You don't actually see the wagon itself. Alright, let's ford the river. Yeah. It's not like Oregon Trail. The old Oregon Trail where you actually see the wagon. Here you just see the trail. So yeah, there's not really much going on for the game. Let's rest here. For one day. For 2 days. Yeah, so it's very different from the classic Oregon Trail that you are familiar with. You don't actually see the wagon, unlike the classic Oregon Trail game. Just see the status. So yeah, there's not really much to it, but it's still nostalgic to any school kid that grew up with it. But anyways, it's time for some DVD testing. Here we go. Here's my test DVD. Yep, Knowing Your Lansdale. It's a DVD that I created to test on various stuff so that I don't get sued or get a copyright strike. So yeah, I thought I had Front Row on there, but I don't. It's a really cool program. Yeah, it's called My Great DVD, but it's the Knowing Your Lansdale DVD. Oh, let's start at the beginning of the disc. I already put it in beforehand. Here we go. Yeah, it is struggling because it's got some scratches on there. Okay. There's nothing better to have a hot day than air conditioning. Let's do Maintaining Your Lansdale. The Solia Lansdale Air conditioning is standard on all models. Comes with a back. Stop. There we go. Struggling to read it. Maintenance on slowly out land cell is important. To open the hood, first but it does work. It does play DVDs. Just gotta get a test that is less scratchy. Then get to the hood itself and open it. Now you have access to the various components inside the engine bay itself. First up, it's changing the oil. You see that thing right by the engine? Okay, let's look at that. Yeah, it does play DVDs. So yeah, that is a demonstration of the eMac from mid-2004. It's time to give this computer a rest. And there you go. It's fun testing this computer. It's one of the fastest classic Mac machines out there, even though it runs the classic Mac OS for the classic environment. So there you go, that's an in-depth look on the mid-2004 eMac. Yeah, in my opinion, it is a great PowerPC G4 computer for people on a budget. I can definitely see this computer being a budget machine, although it does get into collectible prices sometimes, but I think that $50 or $60 is a good price for it. Heck, some people would even be willing to pay $100 for it. It's a pretty good machine, and if you can't afford the machines like the PowerMac G4 Quicksilver or the PowerBook G4, then definitely get this computer. So yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't use a classic Mac computer running the actual classic Mac OS, yeah, a native classic Mac, because all of them are currently in the service bay right now, especially my PowerMac G3 Blue and White, but I still want to do something for MARCHintosh. I found a clever workaround. But anyways, it's time to sign off. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, then you know what to do. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case you haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time, and peace out.